What's up, everyone? Welcome to Speed Check. I'm Josiah Kopp, and today we're reviewing John Andretti's 2000 number 43 STP Pontiac Grand Prix. Let's get into it. All right, let's dive into this review. At first glance, this car is everything you could ever want out of the 43. It's got this beautiful petty blue scheme with the STP red that, also matches with the numbers. In a lot of ways, this car and this paint scheme was my introduction into the NASCAR world. When I was a kid, my cousin John and I would race on NASCAR Heat 2000, and this was the 43 paint scheme for that game. And I'd always race the 43, and this is kind of what made me a big fan of the 43 because I just loved how this car looked. And like I said, the petty blue pops really nicely with the STP red, and we've got this nice yellow to orange gradient that runs along the front of the bumper and also continues to the left and right rear quarter panels and onto the rear. And I'm assuming that was to tie in the Red Lobster branding and Cheerios possibly. And one of my favorite things about this paint scheme are the matching petty blue rims. How can you not love that? It's a really classic look. And then we have this royal blue that fades into the petty blue on the rear. And we've got these thin type lines that help with this gradient switch. And in my mind, this kind of gives me almost an ocean type feel. And I don't know if that's a weird tie-in to the Red Lobster thing or if it's just purely, stylistic. I have no idea. But it's a really interesting look because it almost looks like ribs or something, But the red oval for the 43 is, obviously meant to match the red oval of the STP logo, and I think that's just a really cool tie-in. Now, the hood does open. We don't have any branding underneath, but we do have a pretty decent and detailed look at the inside of the engine. And then the rear deck lid also opens, and we have a pretty cool view on the inside there. Now, underneath this diecast, we have a pretty detailed design, and you'll notice it says 1999, and that's because these were produced in 1999, or the copyright was from 1999 to prepare for production for the year of 2000. This is not a 1999 paint scheme, it is a 2000 paint scheme. Just one thing to note. Now let's just quickly run through all the sponsors on here. Obviously we have STP on the hood. We got the Pontiac Grand Prix design. We've got Goodyear. We have all of these stickers, which I miss. I wish the Gen 7 cars still offered this type of standard design where we have all these sponsors on here. Unfortunately, that's not a thing anymore. The NASCAR Cup cars from this generation did not have the NASCAR, Winston Cup Series sticker. It just had the NASCAR race car sticker on it. But as we move along, you have the 43 in the oval here. I shouldn't necessarily call that the sponsor, but we have Sprint and Hot Wheels right here. We have Cheerios, Red Wing shoes, and lots of sponsors down here. I'll let you guys kind of take a peek at those. We have Ferguson here on the C-post, STP and Red Lobster here. On the back, there's actually no sponsor except for on the taillights. The taillight stickers, I should say. Pop Secret, STP, Pontiac, and on the rear deck lid, we have Betty Crocker. And the right side of the car is the same as the left side. Now, I was really happy to find this diecast on eBay. I thought it was quite a steal. I got a great price on it. But it actually completes my collection because I have the 1/64 scale diecast of this same car. Now, side-by-side comparison, everything looks pretty darn close. Now, one of the main differences that I noticed is the yellow to orange shift on the front bumper here. It is way sharper here on the 124 scale, and on the 164 scale, it's a lot more gradual and subtle. Is pretty much identical. Obviously, the window net on the 164 scale is not black like the actual window net is. But everything else is right on the money. And I think that's pretty cool. And the other cool thing is both of these cars are produced by Hot Wheels. So the build and the feel of them are very similar overall. Now on the 164 scale, the hood and the rear deck lid do not open. But the tires are rubber, so that is a nice feel. And the bottom is metal. It has just a really high quality feel overall. Also rubber wheels on the 124 scale and a mix of plastic and metal construction on this. Now I do have a few stats from John Andretti's 2000 season. Unfortunately, no wins or top fives. He did finish 7th at New Hampshire that year. That was his best finish of the year. He finished out the season 23rd in points, I believe. And, which is a shame because this car would have looked great in victory lane, but there have been very few strong runs for the 43 car since Richard Petty, which is unfortunate because I really do like the legacy of the 43, and I think it's just a great looking car. And I hope to see Legacy Motorsports improve their program. But back to this car, just a great car, great paint scheme overall. Fun fact, my first car was a 2000 Pontiac Grand Prix GTP supercharged, and this is when the heads-up display technology was being introduced into your street cars, and I really enjoyed it. Unfortunately, my personal Grand Prix did not run very well. It had gone through a lot of abuse prior to me owning it. In fact, I was given it basically for free. But I had the experience of driving in one, riding in one that my cousin owned at the time, and those supercharged engines were just a lot of fun. My first car that I actually purchased was a 2005 Chevy Monte Carlo supercharged, and those GM 3800 Series 2 engines were phenomenal. The supercharger sounded great on those, very reliable engines. In fact, I think they were known as one of the best engines that GM ever produced, and this was just a great generation for Pontiac. Despite not having any wins for John Andretti in this season, it was still a great paint scheme. And I'm going to rate this paint scheme a whopping 97 out of 100. Instant classic. Thank you guys so much for watching today's video. If you're a NASCAR fan, be sure to subscribe below. We got lots more content like this coming your way. Until next time, take care.